because I don't know about you, but I followed the stock market, and the day after he got elected, the market went through the roof, and I was like, holy smokes.
Think about the next thing that you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Does it give God glory or not?
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then don't do it.
This month is probably the best month to start calling those people who said, hey, rates are too high. Hey, I'm not ready to sell yet. Everybody's predicting the market's going to kind of make a shift again, and homes are going to be on the market. So you may want to start thinking about and preparing yourself to be ready to either buy, sell, whatever it is you're trying to do. So that way they can build that pipeline that we talk about in real estate to where they can have a successful 2025.
I'm gonna treat you fairly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not because of who I am,
Absolutely.
because of who He is.
You know how you so filled with so much love, you want to just help people, but it's never like they don't help you to help them, and it's very frustrating sometimes, and that's why I get frustrated.
Sure. Welcome to the Will Podcast. I am Will, and our mission here is to share wisdom, inspiration, leadership, and legacy with you. I am honored today to have my friend, Maurice, the Bearded Realtor, in the house today. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Blessed and highly favored. Absolutely, man.
Amen. All right, so we're quoting Dave Ramsey today. I like it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm struggling a little bit. You know,
Talk to me.
Every time we get together, man, I suffer with a massive case of beard envy.
Hey, man, I don't know what to tell you, man. The genetics in my family, I don't know. The Murphy family just gave it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm working on it. We're getting there. So, so we first connected a couple of months ago.
Yes.
Kind of random encounter, like a lot of business opportunities do, and there's a potential for real estate development.
Absolutely.
Here in Jacksonville. That's how we got connected and started talking and had lunch, and just found that we had a lot of similar things in common. So I had to have you on one of the, just kind of inspire people, to follow that entrepreneur dream. And, the only thing stopping you from achieving your goals is probably you sometimes,
Yeah, man. I mean, thank you first off for having me on the show, man. I really appreciate it. And we share a lot of commonalities, and it's great to come on here and kind of, have that connection, and and it's deeper than real estate,
Sure.
sometimes. So it's great to be on here, man. So appreciate that so much.
Absolutely. And even inside of the real estate world, it's competition is very healthy. Competition should not repel people, right?
Yes.
When you're in the business world, you're I want you to tell who's your broker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm with EXP Realty.
Yep.
Yes.
And I'm with DCRE, which is DeVore Capital Real Estate, one of the sub companies of DeVore Capital, and we do construction, we do real estate, we do roofing, we do social media, we do marketing, we do all kinds of things, and there's so much opportunity for people to co-labor, and still represent their brands well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think if we saw more of that, we would see more. Especially in the real estate sales agent world.
Yes.
Eventually you're going to run out of aunts and uncles to try to sell a house for.
Absolutely.
So the more networking you can do and the more collabing you can do, the better your bank account's going to look at the end.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I think the statement I hear a lot is collaboration over competition, because it's easy to compete, but it's better, to collaborate and to grow and to see what we can do together, because we all know we all come together, we can do more together than we can by ourselves. So it's a healthy relationship to where we can collaborate, and there's no egos, no animosity there. So it's just great to be in that situation, man. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, it's been a blessing. So let's go back in time a little bit.
Okay.
Obviously, we know you're in real estate now.
Yes.
How did you get here?
Okay, so I won't make this story too long. So I was in the military for over 24 years, and so my last duty station was here in Jacksonville, in East Jacks, as we call it. And so I had a decision to make at that point in time. I didn't know where my life was headed. I didn't know where I was going after the military. Because you've been in the military. I mean, the military provides you every single thing you need. Housing, medical, dental, clothes, all the things you need, they provided for you. So when it was time for me to say, hey, I'm ready to hang it up, I'm like, damn, what do I do? Like, do I get a job? Do I figure it out? And so I kind of struggled with that when I first was in that predicament of saying, okay, I'm ready to go. But as I got closer and closer to that time, it's like, what I want to do in my life now. I mean, I'm still a young 41-year-old, and I'm thinking, okay, I still got a nice amount of life left. So I decided after a lot of praying, a lot of coming to Jesus meetings, and talking to my wife a lot, because I had some, I'm telling you, man, I had some crazy ideas. I wanted to own an apparel store. I wanted to have a T-shirt business. I wanted to have, it was just some of everything I just could think of I wanted to do. And so I owned a few properties before I retired, and so including my own home. And so I said, wait a minute, let me try this real estate thing. And so that's kind of how it got started. I took the course, got my license, and kind of went from there. It kind of hasn't went in the direction I wanted. I was looking for more investments, but I've come to be an actual agent and still do a little bit of investing on the side as well. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where it's led me to right at this point in time. Been in the business 5 years now, and I absolutely love it, man.
Yeah, no, that's great, because the transition from military life to civilian life it's not like any other transition I think that you could deal with in life. You know, it's scripturally speaking, we get married and we leave mom and dad and we join the wife. That's a transition. Mm-hmm. We can leave one job and go into another job in the civilian sector. You can go from one broker to another broker, and the transition is not that difficult.
No,
but like you said, to go from a place of somebody's telling you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how high up you get.
No,
orders are there.
Yep.
Got to be followed.
Yep.
There's a regiment. There's a routine. Mm-hmm. There's a systematic nature to the life that you live.
Absolutely.
And the longer you do it, the more that becomes. Mm-hmm.
It just
embedded in you.
Yeah, it's ingrained in you. Like,
so what do I do?
Exactly.
Like that first. When I got out, I went on terminal leave after we got back from Afghanistan in 2002. Mm-hmm. And I just had a stack of days on the books. So I took his max, 60 days of terminal or whatever it was, and before I EAS'd, and those were some of the most complicated days of my. It's like, what do I do?
Exactly. Yeah.
What do I do? Because I obviously didn't serve as long as you did, but still, it's like, okay, now here is a change.
Yep.
And I think you probably had a lot more maturity when you got out than I had when I got out, because I got out because I thought I knew everything and I was just going to go out and conquer the world, but I had no plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is difficult.
It is.
It is difficult, and that's why I love talking to veterans that step into the business space and the entrepreneurial world, because the disciplines that they bring with them is when they continue to apply them, they're gonna be successful by default.
Yes.
And people look at guys like us and think that we're a little crazy when we say, nah, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
True. If you're not, living by this, if you're not living by the schedule, then you're failing.
You're failing. Yes.
But those are things, like you said, ingrained in us that I got a mission to accomplish.
Yep.
And I'm going to accomplish it. And to sometimes even to the detriment of our own well-being, our own health. It's I've made a commitment to you, and I'm going to do it.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's a very, not tumultuous, but it's a nice transition. I mean, because now you have a lot of choices. In the military, you don't have choices. You don't have choices where you're going to get stationed here, or you have to go here, or you have to go to Afghanistan. There is no choices. But on this side of the coin, it's like, I got all the choice in the world. I can quit this job and go to another job. I can quit this broker and go to another brokerage. So it's definitely a different change on the mindset because, you know, the way we were brought up, okay, this is what you did every day. You wake up at this time. You go to bed at this time. So when you can have a change and say, I don't want to wake up that early in the morning. I don't want to go to bed at that time.
I don't want to shave
no more. I don't want to shave anymore. So, and that was the first thing I did. I said, hey, I'm not shaving anymore. So, and I mean, it's definitely, but it still gives you that discipline to where you know what to do and how to do it. You know, okay, I need to get up, go to the gym. Hey, I need to get up, give God some praise and give him thanks for waking me up this morning. And so it's like, you know, because I know every day he's going to lead me to the right direction.
Right.
I got to give him the praise. And so, I mean, that's kind of how I live my life, man. Just living day by day, giving him the glory and making it happen, man.
No, I love that. I love that. And to have the boldness and the confidence to speak that.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of men, with just the way that masculinity has been attacked in the world today, a man who professes his faith boldly, you know, is also attacked. You know, you read the scripture enough, you realize there's going to be some of that.
Oh, yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But to be able to do it and to say, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and like many of us, he's made some bad decisions along the journey.
Yes.
And I said, listen, man, just slow it down. Make your life a little more simple. He's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Think about the next thing that you're going to do. Does it give God glory or not?
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then don't do it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And then he starts talking, well, how does, you know, in my job, how does my job give God glory? I said, well, one, you look at that job as a blessing.
Absolutely.
Right? That's a gift from him. And then you have an opportunity to be a blessing for other people.
Yep.
You know, just like us in real estate, you know, how we interact with people. You know, like, hey, I'm going to help you find a home.
Yes.
You know, what's the home you're looking for?
Absolutely.
You know, I'm gonna treat you fairly. You know, not because of who I am,
Absolutely.
because of who he is.
Absolutely. Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And it works.
It does work. I mean, it is a blessing to every day get up and help somebody find a home or help them sell a home, because I think like buying and selling a home is like one of the number 2 stressful things you go through in your life, other than death and divorce. So I mean, it definitely gives you a lot of gratitude and a lot of, you know, it gives you that fulfillment that, okay, hey, I helped this person find a house, and look at them, they're just happy as they can be. And I mean, and if you look at back their situation to where they were renting or they weren't living in the best conditions, and now you can give them a home to where they can call it their own and they have something that they own. And I mean, it's a blessing all around, man. So it's good to be in real estate. Now, and then too, I would say this. I mean, I also it's some days I'll be like, man, Lord, please, what's going on? Like, just give me some grace, give me some mercy, because it be some days I'm like, man, this is tough.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's a tough job. So it's like,
it's hard, and you know, potential buyers or potential sellers, sometimes they don't want to hear the truth.
No, they don't.
You know, like like you said, there's the home that you've lived in 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
There's memories there.
Absolutely.
Right? Those memories, unfortunately, do not translate into positive equity from a dollar perspective.
Yeah.
And like, no, your home's not worth $800,000.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't, you know, Zillow's gotten better.
They have gotten better, yes.
You know, but
they have gotten better.
4 or 5 years ago, Zillow was the death of anybody that was in real estate.
Terrible.
It's like, no, Zillow said, look, Zillow ain't right.
They'd be like, Zillow said this. I'm like,
it's like, listen, I understand that you raised 10 children in the home and this, that, and the other. But you know, the market is the market, you know, and the comparable values in the community that's the market.
Yeah.
And you're going to be hard pressed to be able to sell, or, you know, and then on the flip side, like, I'm sorry, you have a 300 credit score, you know, like we can't right now, but we do have an opportunity to help you get to a place where you can get into home ownership.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of realtors check out,
Those are tough.
They because it does take time and it takes work, and you have to help an individual. And I've done this with a few people.
Yeah.
Like, no, we have to sit through and we got to audit your life.
Yes.
So now I'm not, I can't help you buy a house right now, but I can help you start making better decisions.
Yes.
Pay Rent-A-Center on time for a little while.
Yes. Yes. And I think a lot of realtors, such as myself and you, I'm sure you included in this as well. It almost feels as though we want it more than the customer does sometimes. And we're putting a lot more work into it of helping them get their credit score, and they're dragging their feet. They're getting things done slow, and you're just like, okay, I'm trying to help you as best I can. If we're trying to help you, so help us help you in situations such as that. And so that's where my frustration comes in sometimes. I'm how you so filled with so much love, you want to just help people, but it's never like they don't help you to help them, and it's very frustrating sometimes, and that's why I get frustrated.
Sure,
as
it's
well.
Like I want to help you, but I can't do it for you.
Exactly. Like
I want to help you, but I can't do it for you.
Yes.
So will you take my advice?
Exactly.
And understand that. I mean, the average home sale in Duval County for the last quarter or so is about $360.
Yeah, about $360. Yes.
So like $360,000 over a 30-year note.
Yes.
That's $900 and something thousand that you're going to spend if you keep this thing.
Yes.
So it's a large expense.
It is a large expense.
And if you come in with 70% debt to income, one bad event. One hospitalization, one week of missing. I don't want to help someone get into a home
and be house poor.
That. So it's more than. Because we hope you're enjoying the content. We want to encourage you to jump over to the Will podcast, where our mission there is to inspire you with wisdom, inspiration, leadership, and goals for effective legacy. Both of these podcasts are brought to you by DeVore Media. Be blessed. Because the reality is you're going to spend more time at your job than you spend in the home that you're buying.
True.
So at least awake anyway.
True.
True. And it doesn't matter how many bedrooms you have or what color the walls are. If you got, granite countertops or Formica when you're sleeping.
Nope.
So don't put yourself in a situation
Absolutely.
where you overextend yourself where the home becomes a burden.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a big sticker shock for a lot of local Jacksonville people who have been used to a certain price point and the way things have been, and then when they see that prices have went up, they're like, wow, I can't, So it takes a lot of education on our part to educate them. Okay, here's the current market as it is, and that's where we, as realtors, really have to educate customers to let them know. Okay, I understand what you thought it was, like you were mentioning before. I mean, you thinking this house is going to be $800? I'm sorry to tell you, I've gotten kicked out of a couple people's houses because I told them the truth, and they were just like not trying to hear it. And I'm like, here's A, B, and C houses sold for this price, and the average of this price is not $800. So you're pretty close to those matching houses. Yeah. I can't sell your house.
Right.
So I mean, it just takes a lot of confidence, takes a lot of willpower to be able to speak to those people. So.
Yeah. And also, just as professionals in the industry, we understand, when the buying season is going to be, when the buying season is not.
Yes.
And we typically, things start to slow down when school starts back up.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we get closer to Thanksgiving and Christmas. It grinds to a halt.
Goodness. Tell me about it.
Unless you've been working on a CDC, a clear to close. Up to, you're probably, it's just because people's attention starts going towards different things, and
Absolutely.
rightly so, towards family and the holidays and all of those. We have a client that the recommendation was to get the home listed in May.
Okay.
Oh,
that's perfect time.
Perfect time.
Yeah.
Wasn't ready yet.
Okay.
Needed to be ready, but wasn't ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
November 17th.
Yeah.
I need to get my house listed. I need to have it sold in a month.
Oof.
And I need max value. Yeah. So we're going to do our best, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably not going to happen because we're talking a $600,000 piece of real estate. You know, so this is not
It's not like 250 to 300,000.
right. You know, so we need and when you have those things too, like so the home kind of needs some repairs and needs some things done. So you're
Yeah.
probably looking $10,000-$15,000 worth of stuff.
Okay.
So now I can't do max,
Yeah.
right? Because it needs to be like as is.
Oh man.
So
yeah.
now I'm removing VA, I'm removing FHA. So now I need an
Yeah.
investor or conventional.
Oh man, those are tough.
So now I've removed 45% of the buyer market,
Yeah.
and from the investor space, like how it is.
Oh yeah.
We start getting a $600,000 piece of real estate. We're getting offers.
450.
I wish. That first one came in at 368.
Jeez.
368, and
Wow.
obviously it's we have a responsibility and an obligation to present it to the buyer
Yeah.
or to the seller, and well, what do we do? We're just going to tell them we're not interested because they're not serious.
Yeah.
Like we're not serious.
Yeah.
We can counter, but my counter is going to be $250,000 higher
Absolutely.
than what their offer was.
Yeah.
But it is challenging.
It is.
It is challenging because then you can start to see the stress and the worry. Well, if it doesn't happen, then what I'm going to do next, and but it's a wonderful industry and a wonderful business to be in. But it is not for the faint of heart.
Oh man, no, it's not. And I've seen a few people. I've reached out to them here lately, and they're like, "Hey, I went back and got a job. Like this ain't gonna work for me." And I'm like, "Damn, I hate to see it happen, but it happens all the time." I mean, it definitely takes a different mindset, a different willpower, because, I mean, you're talking what, 12,000 agents locally. I mean, about 20% are doing majority of the work. So you're still talking about 2,500 agents that are here in the local area. So, I mean, you got to be out there getting it. You can't be out here thinking that somebody's going to get you something. And these TV shows and these other things that they show you, thinking that selling Sunset and everything else, $1 million listing, like we're going to just sell a house on an hour time frame, doesn't happen. Like, no. I've worked with customers. One guy I worked with for 7 months. Because the situation was he owned the house, he was deployed, and he had a tenant in there. Mm-hmm. He told the tenant we were going to sell the property. Tenant said, "Oh, no, you're not. I'm not moving." So then we had to evict the tenant.
Right.
And that process takes some time. And so it took us like 3 to 4 months to get him out. And then once we got him out, we had to go in, get the carpet taken care of, ripped up, get new countertops because he had messed everything up. And it's like we had to repaint the entire house. So you're talking, that's a process. Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely not a quick turnaround, So it definitely takes a strong will person to be in this business. So,
yeah. Because it's, we love the dream.
Yes.
Because we're guilty.
Yes, we're guilty.
We've seen the show. We've watched the, how to make $1 million in real estate in 6 months, and we've seen it all. But the reality behind it is absolutely possible.
It is possible.
The flip side of it is the fruit that you receive from the career path will be a direct result of the labor that you put into it.
Yes.
And I think I don't even know anymore. I tell aspiring agents to, if they're going to make a career transition, to come into this industry to make sure that they have 1 year worth of expenses. Yeah. Because if not, you're going to starve.
True.
If not, you're going to starve. If you have the ability to do like a hybrid model first and, start to set yourself up to where you're building some lead flow and you got some deals in a pipeline, then you can make the transition with maybe 6 months worth of, reserves. Because it's something, you sell that first, $500,000 listing, and you get your check, man. That's a nice check for
It is a nice check.
for one deal,
Yes.
right? And you see it, and you're like, man, wow, this is awesome.
Great. Yeah.
And it's like, but the calls and the door knocks, networking events, and all of the things that you had to do to set yourself up for that one.
Yeah.
Now you have to go and replicate that.
Yeah.
Ain't no days off.
No days off.
You get back in it, tomorrow. So
Yeah.
if you can afford to put yourself in a position to then go and do the work,
Yes.
with like some broker relationships are better than others, but it's like you are a 1099 independent contractor. Yeah. Like, you're not going to get fired for not going to work.
No.
You're just going to starve.
Yeah. Now, I have seen brokers just let you go now.
Sure. It happens.
Yes.
You
ain't producing. We got to let you go. You're costing us money.
Yeah. You become a drain on.
Exactly.
You become you're using too much of my air conditioner.
Using the coffee machine too much now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is an expense to have an agent sitting in the desk, and even a lot of brokerages have went to kind of like a remote model, but there's an expense to that too.
It is.
The technology costs to use. So to have the access, and the broker's doing his job, and he's answering the questions and training and developing, and it's like, well, you track the activity, right? Why am I not making any money? Okay, well, how much work have you done?
Yeah.
How
much consistent work have you done?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the thing.
That's
consistent work.
Yep.
Like it's not like, okay, it's a magic pill and you're gonna just do a little bit of work and then you get a deal. No, you have to consistently do that work, or if not, you won't get nothing.
Yep.
Like, and I mean, the follow-ups, the phone calls, the networking, like you said, all those things, like you still have to do work on after that, because once you meet a person, they're not gonna just buy a house from you today. They're not gonna like, hey, I met you today. I'm ready to go buy a house tomorrow.
I've never thought about buying or selling, but because I met you, now I want to. Yeah.
No, who does that?
No,
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot of work, and that work, you're not getting paid. So you have to have that mindset, which is what I said before. Like, you got that mindset that, okay, the work I'm doing now is going to give me the fruit to have later. So,
and that's why like we love doing podcasts like this. Because it's one. Like, eventually, people get tired of they know you're a realtor.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they've heard it.
True.
They know. So what other value are you bringing?
That's true.
Like, how are you serving the community? How are you giving back to the community? How are you being a blessing to others without expecting anything in return?
Yeah.
And I think, doing those things.
Absolutely.
It puts you out there in you get viewed from a different lens.
Yes.
But it's just like anything else in life, you get. The seeds you plant are going to come to harvest.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? If you plant 5 seeds that are bad, then you're going to get, right? What you plant, you reap what you sow.
Absolutely.
And it's, you go to the gym once, all right, you put up 250. All right, cool.
Cool.
You don't go again?
Yeah.
For 6 months?
You ain't going to put up 250.
You might not put up 250,
No. I'm attached to that. You ain't gonna be able to put up 250 after 6 months of not going.
You go and you consistently put in the work. You put in the work in the gym. You put in the work in your relationship, with, your marriage, your relationship with your friends, your kids, your relationship with like, the more work you put into something, the more positive energy. I don't sound like I'm new age, because I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
The more positive comes out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's and I love seeing, agents that I don't even know, right? And I smile when I see their success.
Yeah.
Right? Not because of the car or the fancy watch or none of that. I smile because of the level of discipline and dedication to their craft that they have put in to get to that.
Absolutely. And just to add something to that, I mean, that faith plays a major part in that, because what's the saying? What's it? Work without faith is dead.
Right.
Or faith without work is dead. So, I mean, if you have, all the faith in the world, but if you ain't putting in the work, what are you going to get out of it?
I I have this conversation a lot. Like, what do you have? If again, like scripturally speaking, like I can judge you.
Yeah.
Right. It's righteous judgment.
Yep.
And I've been given a list of fruit that I can see coming off of you. So if I don't see it, well, then I got to ask, like, what do you have faith in?
Yeah.
Do you have faith? Do you have faith in miracles? Because you're not doing any work. So if you eat next week, it's a miracle that it happened, right? So what are you, like, is it true faith?
Absolutely.
And it's not, and that's where a lot of people get twisted up. They show up to a church service, and I talk about this a lot. They put their hand up and, they say the prayer, they recite some words after another guy. And for too many people, especially in North America, there's not really a transformation that takes place, right? It's a religious exercise that just happened, right? But when that transformation happens, in true, the business world, we're going to call it mentorship. In the church world, we're going to call it discipleship. When that happens, and then we start to learn and we start to grow, and then we realize we're not working out of obligation. We're working out of one, in the business world, to be a blessing to somebody else, be a blessing to our family, be a blessing back. Everything all circles back around. But it's also an ability to understand where the blessing comes from. It's it's I wrote a thing and I put it on Facebook yesterday. Why does the church exist? Right, is what I wrote. Because church doesn't exist for you and I.
No.
Church exists as a place to worship God. We exist because we are the church. We exist to worship God, to give Him glory, to give Him praise. And I love how you started. First it's like, wake up.
Yeah, because
take a breath, give Him praise.
Absolutely, because at any point in time, this could all be taken away from me. I never want to take it for granted to what He's given me, because I understand what He's brought me from. So, you know what I'm saying? Because, I could have been that statistic kid, or I could have went the wrong direction and been locked up, or anything could have happened to me. But I'm living a pretty good life, and I have to give Him thanks. I haven't been always the model citizen. In the younger years, you think you can do everything. You're like, ironclad, and He's brought me out of situations to where I'm like, as I look back, I'm like, damn, that was a lot of grace and mercy, even when I wasn't close to Him. So that really is a testament to Him and His faithfulness to us, because sometimes we're not doing the things we're supposed to be doing, and He still gives us so much grace and mercy. And it's like, man, if you're giving me this much grace and mercy when I'm not close to you, what would happen if I did get close to you? What would happen if I did say, hey, thank you, or worship Him? And it's like, that's how I look at things, man. It's like, I wouldn't have not been here without Him. So I give Him all the praise.
Man, amen to that. There's wisdom in that statement. So for everybody that's watching this, when any man with gray in his beard tells you something, I want you to listen to it, right? Because we do have the benefit of hindsight, right? But we see so many young people today that they're never going to get that.
No.
Because they end up incarcerated or worse. You know? And that's why it's whether you want to call it mentorship, discipleship, motivating you to be better, whatever word you want to use for it. It's so for guys like us to step into that for somebody. Like biblically speaking, we should be disciples making disciples, right? And in the business, the more we can develop someone and mentor someone to achieve what they want to achieve in the business, and then put a discipleship model in with that, then like it's a blessing.
It is.
And then more opportunities come from that. And we don't do to get. No. But to a certain extent, we do get when we do.
Yes, we do.
And that's.
But it's not our intention, and we just doing it because we understand that's our that's our mission as a people to praise Him and to give him all the glory. So that way, I mean, once you do it for Him, everything else will take care of itself.
Yep.
Whatever happens from that is His plan. So,
Yep.
you know,
You can become wildly successful, or you can lose it all.
you can.
And when your faith is in the right spot,
Oh man, yeah.
when your faith is in the right spot,
Mm-hmm.
then you see it's like, okay, if I'm going to do this, and if this is His will, and I've seen guys pivot. I've pivoted.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I thought that I was, you know, this is where, you know, you get those, you get that word, you know, from the lady in the third row, right? You know, God told me that you
Yeah.
should be doing, okay, you know, I'm gonna go do the thing, you know, and it's like, oh no, that was, the more we mature, the more,
Yes.
you know, God's got my number 2.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. He ain't give me that memo.
You
Yeah.
know, so you just, you know, step out and do it. So we just jumped out of the election season,
Yes, we did.
and so there'll be a change of administration in January,
Oh man.
and you know, after, you know, I told everybody, I was like, listen, whoever wins,
Mm-hmm.
high probability the world's still gonna be spinning.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We still gonna have to get up and show up.
Absolutely.
You know, January 20th. You know,
Yes.
administration is going to change hands.
Yep.
A lot of chaos, you know, in the world.
True.
There's always been a lot of chaos in the world,
Very true.
specifically in real estate.
Okay.
Where do you see residential real estate going in 2025?
Oh, it's gonna get better.
Okay.
And what I mean by it's gonna get better, sales are gonna start picking up. I think a lot more homes are going to continue to be built, and it's just a fact of how good is it going to get next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you got to admit, I mean, this is about the slowest year we've had in real estate for decades.
Yeah.
As far as the amount of homes being sold this year, and that's all over the country. So, I mean, once he gets back in office, because I don't know about you, but I followed the stock market, and the day after he got elected, the market went through the roof.
Right.
And I was like, holy smokes. So if everybody's on the impression and the assumption that once he takes back office, when the economy was so great this last time, they feel like it's going to get good again. I mean, and the market's pretty down now, so and going nowhere but up. So like, where's going to go? Like,
Yeah, I'm not worried about. So I was a mortgage broker.
Okay.
In 2007, 2008.
Oh man, you was one of those.
Yeah, I did not renew my broker's license in 2009, which I probably should have. But
Quick question: now, did you guys actually have license back then? Because I heard you could just be like signing a piece of paper and you say, hey, you're a mortgage.
yeah,
broker.
no. So there was it was a twofold.
Okay.
So you could work as an originator
Okay.
underneath a broker.
Got you.
Okay. I think there was a couple different levels of broker license, but you could work as an originator. Those were typically back then all. I am Will with DCRE, DeVore Capital Real Estate. We want to help you with your buying and selling real estate transactions. We know in the economy and the market that we have today, everybody is telling you that it is impossible to buy or to sell. We know that we can get the deal done. Give us a call at 844-4DeVore or hit the link below. Have a great day. Not like remote positions, like you had to go to an office, you fell underneath direct supervision of a broker, and we were writing paper all the time.
Okay.
And then I went and I took the state mortgage broker exam.
I got you.
And which was way more difficult even back then than the real estate exam is today.
Oh, okay.
And but I was working as an originator. License came in the mail.
Okay.
Popped on CNN. Bubble burst.
Wow.
It was like a direct correlation. Like I am actually the reason the economy fell apart. Right.
I've heard the stories.
You know, and so it was devastating for
Yeah.
so many people.
Yeah.
And I just seen so many people just lose everything. And, but a byproduct of that happening, again, hindsight is a wonderful thing, that pushed me to start doing, like, I needed to work.
Yeah.
So I started doing handyman work and things
Yeah.
like that in people's homes, because if you weren't losing your home, you still had to fix things.
Yeah.
And that created a space for me to get into doing remodels and construction, and which ultimately led to meeting Scott, our CEO, and which byproduct of all of those events led me to me and you sitting here.
Yeah.
So not every failure and not every bad thing is a bad thing.
True.
There's a blessing on the other side of it. So I'm not worried about that happening again.
No.
I do worry that are we going to be able to figure out we got to get inflation down. And even if interest rates go down, property values are going up.
Yes.
Right. So we got to get more money in the pocket of the consumer. We also, and I say the average income, the median income, like say Duval County, for example, right, has not increased.
No, it hasn't.
On par with property value increases.
No, it has not.
So the average longtime Florida resident is still going to have a difficult time.
Absolutely.
Even if we saw 3% mortgage, interest rates again, and that's my concern. So I think I do agree with you. I do think we're going to see the transactions increase greatly. I'll be interested to see what the Fed does here in December, because they're wanting to see what inflation is doing and some other economic before they drop the Fed rate.
Yeah.
Which they should.
Yeah.
And because right after the election they dropped it.
Yes.
And then even every other Fed meeting
exactly
all year, that's all you heard about for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And then you didn't, and I'm in tune with what's going on. I didn't hear a peep about it.
Nope.
And then there was this little, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because every other decrease, it was like this big thing. They had to say, okay, we're going to meet this day and this is going to happen. We're predicting this is going to happen. So
the governors of the board get together and they sit down and talk about it and decide what they want to do. And, but this one was like, we're not going to talk about it. You know? So.
Yeah. I mean, and I will say too, man, I mean, I wasn't privy to what happened back in 07, 08, 09. I was stationed overseas in Japan. And so to watch the news and to see how bad it was, I was like, I couldn't imagine. I mean, every news station during that time, we was watching, AFN, they call it AFN overseas. It was for sale, for sale, for sale. People was like, oh, man. It was a bad situation. I mean, yeah. So
it was awful. And the Big Short.
Yeah.
Obviously it came out years later. And I remember watching it, and every single one of those lenders that they discussed in the movie, I did loans for.
Oh wow.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And it was wild, man. But that was it was a different time in my life. It was okay. I'm young. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
My faith was nowhere near what it is today.
Yeah.
And it was just make money, make money, make money. And that's where the entire industry shifted to, right? There was no moral compass in it at all. And it was actually, there was a period of time, we're in downtown Jacksonville right now, the old Prudential building right over here. We were almost on the top floor, and that was our office. And the day that I had had enough, and this was before the collapse. Okay. And we're primarily doing refinances because property values is going up and rates were down. And there was a little lady. She was an older lady in Georgia. She had a single wide trailer that was mid-interior rehab. Right, so the walls were down. They're doing new drywall and doing different stuff like that.
Yeah,
she needed to. She was trying to do a refi so she could take some cash out. It was a bad deal for her. right? Like fees and everything was going to be about $6,000 of her equity was going to go to the bank.
Wow.
Right. And it was only going to save her about $150 a month. Well, the way they did it back then is if there was a $100 benefit to the recipient, then it wasn't predatory. Okay, that's all it had to be. It didn't matter how much it cost them to save that $100, right?
Wow.
And I seen it, and I just couldn't do it. It's like I was like ripping off grandma.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't do it. And I called her and I said, "Listen," I said, "I'm not going to do this for you." She's like, "But I need to find a way to save some money." And I said, "I will drive to Georgia this weekend, and I will take you to the grocery store, and we will figure out how to save you a couple $100 a month."
Yeah.
You know, like we'll figure it out.
That's
and I
good,
said, "Listen,"
man.
I said, "I'm about to walk out and quit my job. Just letting you know, somebody else is going to call you, and they're going to tell you that this is the best deal that you could possibly get. And I'm going to hang up on them, please. Don't sign these papers because it's bad for you."
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Okay." I hung up, gathered my stuff, like sales manager, had the corner office window, and I walked over and I was like, "Hey, bud, I'm out." He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Yeah, I quit." He's like, "Why?" I said, "I can't rip off little old ladies anymore. I got to go."
Wow.
And so I start walking out. He calls me. He's like, "Man," he's like, "you got to get her back on the phone and close the deal." And I was like, "No, do you not understand what I just told you, dude? I'm not calling this lady again. I'm done for you. I'm done."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I need you to sign a piece of paper." I was like, "What paper?" You know? And he's like, I'm just going to mark you down as rehireable. So if you want to come back, you can come back. And I was like, "Dude, you can write down whatever you want on that piece of paper. I'm not coming back."
Yeah.
So then I went independent, and found some banks that
Yeah.
I could kind of like a hybrid remote thing, and got my license. And then, like I said, then it fell off. And,
Yeah.
you know, tried to fight through it for a year, but
Yeah.
you know, and that's why I tell keep that nest egg, even in real estate today. You know, because you're gonna have those dry spells.
Yes.
You know, you might go December, January without getting a transaction.
Yeah.
So you gotta have some nuts stored away when things get slow, because there's a lot of other factors at play in addition to your activity.
Yeah.
You know, like, so if you're putting in the activity, you're putting in the work, your chances of success are
Absolutely
much greater.
Yeah.
But we can't control what the Fed does.
No.
You know,
No.
nobody expected to see rates go from 2.5 to 6.5
No.
in
No.
14 months.
True.
Nobody
True.
expected that,
Not
and
at
it
all.
did.
It did. It did. But what I would tell people now, I mean, I would say this month is probably the best month to start calling those people who said, "Hey, rates are too high. Hey, I'm not ready to sell yet. Hey," whatever excuse they gave us, this is the best time now to say, "Hey, New Year's coming up. Everybody's predicting the market's going to kind of make a shift again, and homes are going to be on the market. So you may want to start thinking about and preparing yourself to be ready to either buy, sell, whatever it is you're trying to do. So that way they can build that pipeline that we talk about in real estate to where they can have a successful 2025. So if things are slow now, you need to get up off the horse or get on the horse and go ahead and start making those calls, text messages, whatever you're doing, you need to reach out to those folks because
right now.
Yes, right now.
Because that winter slump will get you.
Absolutely.
You'll look
Yes.
it'll be March, early April, and that phone ain't ringing.
Yep.
But if you start today,
Absolutely.
come March, early April,
Absolutely.
those connections, because then
Yes.
the mind shifts. You know,
Yes.
especially Floridians, right? We think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
snowing outside right now. It's not snowing outside right now. You know, there's a shift, and the weather starts to get nice. People start thinking, okay, school's going to be out soon. We're
Yep.
going to start going to the beach. Okay, now,
Yeah.
you know, our kids going from elementary school to middle school, and I want to be in this district. And,
Yep.
you know, there's so many other factors at play. You
So
start
many
making them
factors.
connections now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The phone will ring.
Start build that pipeline now because, I mean, don't wait till January because you wait until January, you won't get that momentum until March, April, and you've wasted
Right.
all that time. So
Yeah.
start making those connections now.
Well, because like you said, because competition is good.
Absolutely.
You're competing, I mean, just in the Duval County area,
Just in Duval County.
you're competing with another, 2,000, 2,500 agents,
Yep.
If only 10% of them,
If only 10% of exactly. Only
if
10%.
only 10% of them are making, 50, 75 calls a day,
Yep.
think of the number of volume that they're going to do in the next 60 days
Oh yeah.
of connections. And,
Yes.
just because I've had buyers that I never spoke to.
Mm.
I tried, but they weren't ready.
Yeah.
So going to voicemail, going to the spam box or wherever they're sending
Yep.
me to. But when somebody called them and they were ready, I got a guy,
Yeah.
and they hung up on him.
Yep.
And then they called me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just the consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah. Just the consistency of making the calls and talking to the people.
Yeah.
Even to their voicemails.
Yeah.
Like this guy cares. He ain't giving up.
Yep.
So when somebody else called, there was no relationship there.
No.
Even if it wasn't.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, there's so many different weird things that happen, when you start networking and
Oh man.
and putting
Yeah.
things together. We have January 8th here at the office. We're
Mm-hmm.
doing a Jacksonville small business meetup.
Okay.
We're gonna do just have some coffee and some donuts. Just invite some
All right.
people over
That's what's up.
and just talk about goal setting. For 2025. Spend about an hour and a half,
Yeah.
and it's like not going to cost us more than coffee and donuts, and but it puts us in a place where we can share some of the successes that we have had with other entrepreneurs and other business owners.
Yeah.
And then you make new friends.
Exactly. I mean,
And,
hell, that's how me and you met. I mean, made a connection, and now we're doing business. So I mean, it's really good and great to see when two good people come together and say, okay, hey, ain't no competition here. Let's collaborate and try to put together a great deal and put some people in some homes. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, the project we got planned, I'm really excited about it. It'll be my first time doing it, and I know you've done it a lot, but this will be something I'm really excited about.
yeah, that's good, because that's really where the next phase of because there's still what did they say, 17 million home shortage.
Yeah.
So their new construction
Mm-hmm.
is the way to go, if you can.
If you can, yes.
There's still, especially from an investor standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
new construction is a solid strategy.
Absolutely.
And I would say in this market and the way things have been the last couple of years and kind of where I see them going,
Mm-hmm.
Buying that distressed property for, 80% under ARV,
Yeah.
it's not as common.
No.
It's not as common, and there's tax liens, and
Mm-hmm.
there's the pre-foreclosures, and there's opportunities to make money
Yes.
with all of these different strategies. But if you're in, I'm gonna just do the infomercial. If you are in real estate as an investor and you haven't considered ground up development as a part of your strategy play, I'd say give us a call and let's have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's it's a bit of a process.
Mm-hmm.
But think about the after effect of going through that, because one, you're adding value not only to a piece of land but to an entire community.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now you have a brand new, I mean, if you're doing long-term rental, you have a brand new product. Your
Yep.
maintenance cost is going to be low.
Yep,
You
minimal.
You vet
Yep.
the right tenants that are going to care for your property.
Yep.
You put it in there.
Yeah.
And you can like still the easiest way. It's also the hardest way to build
Yeah.
wealth in America.
Absolutely.
Is through real estate. And
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is too, man. I mean, I think we have a unfair advantage here in Jacksonville because we're like the largest landmass city in the
a lot of
country.
it.
We still got a lot of land to be built on. So I mean, there's so many opportunities here for investors, for homeowners. I mean, homes are still being built in our communities, and I mean, we're going to build some homes in our community, and that's not going to stop at the first project. We got more stuff coming, so it's a great investment here in Jacksonville. And I mean, you're talking probably the cheapest or lowest cost per capita for major cities in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Orlando, Miami, and Tampa, those places, the costs are way, way higher than what it is in Jacksonville. So, and right now, I think is a great opportunity because we're still not fully developed like those other cities are.
Right.
You know, we still have a lot more development to do, especially in the downtown and all the things they want to do in Jacksonville. So, I mean, here in the area we're at, I mean, they're talking about doing so much in downtown,
Yep.
from the Four Seasons Hotel to, you know, they're going to be doing all these buildings and redoing the Laurel Street project. So, I mean, it's a lot of opportunity here, and you just so much to do.
They're about
Yeah.
to put $1.2 billion in that stadium right there.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely. I forgot about that. Yeah,
You know, I got $1.2 billion going in that stadium right there. The jail is right there. That's moving to the other side of town. The fairgrounds that are just over on the other side, they're moving. They've already started developing that.
And the soccer field they're going to put over there. So yeah, man, it's a lot of major developments going on in the city. And
the framework. I think that was kind of one of the because technically I was born and raised here.
Okay.
I started kindergarten in Jacksonville. I was born over in Putnam County. Started kindergarten here. Lived here until I joined the military. Came back here after I joined the military. Then moved to Orlando when I was 30.
Okay.
And so this is home. And
Gotcha.
The thought process is, you know, this is just Jacksonville is just South Georgia. You know, backwoods. You know, and that's
it is true.
You know, there's things coming.
Yes.
You know, the one thing that we need.
Okay, talk to me.
The one we need a draw. You know, or when I was in my 20s.
Okay.
There was lots of conversation about Six Flags over Florida coming to the Cecil area.
Okay.
Okay, it didn't grow legs.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying nobody wants more traffic, right?
No.
But you gotta have a reason for people to come. You
True.
know, you gotta have a reason for people to come. You know.
But does Six Flags even still exist?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Six Flags is, you know, they got Six Flags all over the place.
I haven't been to Six Flags since I was in high school, so I don't really.
Yeah, we gotta give the mouse some competition. You know, Mickey thinks he owns the state of Florida. You know what I'm saying? So
that's gonna be a tough haul right there. That's gonna be a tough haul right there.
But when you think of, have you been to downtown Tampa recently?
Have not been recently. No.
Okay.
Have not been recently. But the last time I was there, it was. I mean, this was a long time ago. So it was like in the late 2000s. I mean, early 2000s. So I haven't been in a long time.
Okay. Yeah, we went. We went about a year ago, and the downtown area is cool.
Yeah.
You know, they got the aquarium. They got the trolley that goes back. I mean, it's really cool. There's dining, things to do. It's clean. It's safe.
Yeah.
You know, like downtown Jacksonville still today. If you don't have a reason to be down here at night, you probably shouldn't be down here.
Yeah, it's true.
And I say that as it's, you know,
getting dark,
black outside. You know.
Oh man, it is pitch black outside. Yeah, I mean, and I think that from watching and doing a lot of research, Jacksonville is trying to mimic the same thing Tampa has done. It's just taking such a long process and a lot of red tape and getting things done. But I think once it does happen, it's gonna open the floodgates down here.
It's gonna tick. It's
Yep.
gonna tick off.
Yeah.
So, well, man, I want to thank you. This has been
Absolutely,
fun.
man.
I appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir.
And I will definitely have you back.
Thank you, man.
Right. And how can the audience get in touch with you?
All right. It's pretty simple. I am the Bearded One. It's spelled THA Bearded 0NE. The Bearded One on all social media platforms. Just hit me up on everything. I'm on everything you can think of. Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook is all the Bearded One. So
what's your favorite social media platform?
Facebook.
Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because
it's your age.
That's the OG. That's the OG of social media platforms, and that's why I get most of my engagement. Most of the people I know are on there, and it probably is because of my age. You know, the TikToks, I kind of do my thing on there, but not like the younger kids. Yeah.
I just deleted TikTok the other day.
Come on, man, you tripping?
I just deleted TikTok the other day, and I don't like it. Still, because they're getting close to the deadline.
What deadline? Oh, they got to get rid of it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got to get a buyer. And I was like, you know what? If it's going to disappear anyway, something's going to replace it.
True.
Somebody will step in and buy it cheap.
Very true.
But yeah, I got rid of it. So
Oh, man.
yeah. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
So what's your favorite one?
YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube. I like YouTube. YouTube is, I think, more depending on what you're searching for and what you're looking at.
Yes.
More educational, more informative. A lot of the, Facebook has a place for friends, family, church activities, stuff like that. Instagram seems like it's made. I follow a bunch of business influencers and real estate folks and stuff like that. Where I see a lot of creators falling short is they're trying to sell.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Bring value.
Yes.
Bring value.
Yes.
Bring value before you try to ask me for a check.
Absolutely.
Yes. And it's like I see the same things over and over again. So,
yeah.
Like, how are you trying to make me better?
Yes.
Or you just want me to fall in, right?
And buy this product.
Yeah.
Buy this service.
Yeah, buy this thing, and you can grow your account by 100,000 followers, with this simple, easy method. Like, come on, and be honest too. Value and honesty,
True.
And
True.
You'll see your followers tick up.
And I'll say this: there's no magic pill. No magic pill to success, man. It's just consistent hard work every day.
Yes, sir.
And discipline. So yeah.
That's it. Well, thank you again.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Be blessed. Thanks again for watching the Will Podcast. We hope this episode has been able to help you with wisdom, inspiration, leadership, and legacy. If we can help you with anything, whether it's real estate, business, entrepreneurship, your walk in your faith, we are here to help. Just send us a message. Connect with us in the comments. You can reach me at IamWill904 on Instagram and the Will Podcast on YouTube. Take care.